Working on the last hat today. Want to get these done so I can get them up to the person at the church. I can't attend the December meeting because I have Christian women, so there's that. I'd gotten talked into last night trying a different overnight oats recipe. I still think overnight oats are overrated. I think they're okay, but it just kind of reminds me of what wallpaper paste looks like when you're eating it. Not that big a fan of it, so but I did give it a try. And that's what I was asked to do, and I did give it a try. So, woke up this morning and there was a dusting of snow out there on the road, all around. So, was a little surprised to see that. Didn't think that was going to happen this soon. Had an idea that we might get it by this weekend. But, yeah, it was a little surprising. We had some rain last night, so just weird weather here in Pennsylvania. But there is a light dusting, and I realized then that I still have one of the water hoses outside hooked up, so I got to go get it. Take it off. Bring it in. I mean, it's already been drained. I just haven't brought it into the house, into the garage, and put it away for the season. I don't know how I didn't remember that, but yeah, it's out there, so got to go grab it and bring it in sometime today. In between all the stuff that I need to get done. And, yeah. Also need to film you're going to see this Tuesday. Need to film the video for Monday with the What in Tarnation. Do a little bit of cleaning, and that's kind of it for most of my plans for the day. It is the first day of Operation Christmas Child drop-offs around the nation. So that should be a fun day. I'm scheduled to work down there from 4 to 7. And then from there I head over to my little lady's house to take care of her overnight. And come back in the morning to work another couple of hours. We are setting up for our packing party on Tuesday morning. So, lots to do. A lot of stuff. And I'm laughing because the girls are trying to remind each other to take pictures. So here's hoping somebody remembers. So what's going on in the world today? Well, Mexico is imploding. Their Gen Z have stormed the Mexican palace, wanting some changes. They're not happy with the amount of cartel activity and the way that the cartel basically runs the country, and so they are protesting in a big way there. I have not heard anything else other than they did break into the Capitol, and who knows? Who knows what we'll find in the morning. And around the news a lot are quite a few stories that have been brought up in the past of black women being put out of hospital, treated poorly when they're in the hospital, those kind of things. And yeah, I can see some of that, that might be something that is considered. A lot of people call it racism. I don't know if it's racism or just poor care in general. You know, I had a patient that was at Norfolk General Hospital, which is it is a hospital, and it's run out of the Norfolk Community University. Is it community or Norfolk University? It is an all-black school. And I've had patients that were there that had horrible care, and they predominantly do not hire whites at all in that hospital. I had a visitor, and most of the people were of color that were working there. The only difference might be the doctors. But even there were instances of poor care, medical care. So I'm not so sure that you can call it racism, other than the person who is working, their heart intent. I know there were times that I was accused of giving poor care to my patients. And I will admit, I did. And on those nights, I had 20 patients. And I consider that poor care. And no nurse should have more than 8 to 10 patients at any given time. Any given time. But that is the healthcare system. You know, they were like, well, you know, you can manage it. Got an LPN on the other side of the floor caring for the other 20. You can care for the 20 and also do the charge for the entire 40 patient unit. When you come into work, sometimes you don't have a choice. And that is an administration call. But yeah, that night it was poor care. I was behind on a lot of things that needed to be done. And my aide and I worked our butts off to try to get it done, get the patients taken care of, and cared in a, what I would call a humanely way. But there were some lapses, so some of the patients, you know, didn't get the care that they deserved. Now, did I complain about it and write an incident report? Yes, ma'am, I did. But hospitals are notorious for being legally able to carry what they call 2% below staffing needs. That's quite a large number of healthcare people you can run under. And I'm not saying that they do it on purpose, but I think sometimes they do. You know, profit over people. If you get my drift. But when the nurses are there, most of them do the best that they can. Every once in a while you get a nurse that's a jerk. And pretty quickly they're found out and they're usually gotten rid of. They don't last very long. Generally because coworkers can't stand them either. They're rude. They're abrasive to doctors. Many times doctors will file complaints and they'll find a reason to get rid of them. So, yeah. There are times things like that happen. And the sad thing is about this whole thing with these, like with the nurse that was in Dallas with the Dallas Memorial Hospital in Mesquite. It does serve a small community. It is, well, when I was in the area working in Texas, it was considered a poverty hospital. Most of the people you saw there were on Medicare or Medicaid or didn't have any insurance whatsoever. Turnover for nursing staff, all kinds of staff was high. And many times they were just straight up overworked. Too much work, too many patients, not enough care. So sometimes you get burnt out. So, and they see some of the worst things. They see all kinds of abuse patients, addicts, you name it. Generally, most of the homeless are taken to those hospitals when they are in need of care. That just seems to be something that was done a lot. Shouldn't have been done that way, but fortunately, that kind of is our healthcare system. It does suck in many ways, but I don't think there's an easy answer to it, to be honest. You know, everybody thinks if you throw enough money at it, you can fix it. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe. But the biggest problem I have with that is the amount of, when people dox places like that online and those kind of things, then you have a lot of, like the instance I heard was that people were showing up protesting this hospital, interfering with the care of other patients because they were interfering with patients being able to get in and to get care. But not only that, those that were being discharged from going home, but they also were protesting at the wrong hospital. And it's okay to protest. But keep this in mind. When people are in the hospital, they need rest. They don't need to be hearing people yelling, screaming, cursing, doing all these chants. They don't. So that's my biggest problem with this. You can silently protest. You don't need to yell, scream, bring bullhorns, that kind of stuff. You can walk around the hospital with signs, talking about it, talk to people coming in, going out. But you don't need to be yelling, screaming, that kind of thing. I don't know what my cat's doing. He's back there just meowing. I think he's meowing to hear his voice. Anyway, moving on. Haven't heard any more about the Three-Eye Atlas, what it's up to lately. Probably need to go check it out and see what's going on. It just fascinates me. It, for them to say it's a comet, but it's not acting like a normal comet. So, what is it? Then some of the pictures that have come out have been rather amazing, and it's like, how is that a comet? And then I've seen some of these reports saying they have detected life on it. It's so many hundreds of billions of years away. How can you detect life on it? But I don't know. Crazy people. Nuts. That just throws me. And I will tell you, on TikTok, there's a big thing going around about this couple that picked up an angel tree tag, and the young lady that they were buying for had quite a few items on their list, and they do suggest when you pick up these tags, you spend at least $30 on the whatever. So I guess they had, only spent $30. And there's a lot of people that on one side are screaming and hollering, that's not enough. You should have got her everything on the list. The list is a suggestion of what they want. Now, and then there's the other side, like some of us who grew up poor, that if one year you were to get everything on your Christmas list, and then year after year, you got nothing, or you only got that pair of socks, pajamas, that Christmas after that would suck every year. So there's valid points to both. Thomas and I have filled Christmas tree angels with the service group there at the university many years, and they'd come home with a list of things that they wanted. Now this one gal, and this one year it was weird, because on this young lady's list was scary movies. And so my question was, does she want the movie Scary Movie? Or does she want scary movies? So we had contacted the group that was handling it, because I wanted to make sure that everything was okay that we purchased for this young lady. So we went around with the movie thing, made sure that there was popcorn for the movie. We did affirm with the parent that, yes, she could have scary movies. And I think the big movie at that time was Paranormal 1. I think 2 had just come out. So I had confirmed with the parent it was okay to choose those. And we got her that, and got her a couple of other movies that weren't necessarily scary movies, but something she wanted. We got her a small throw, so if they wanted to watch the movie underneath the blanket, they could, that kind of thing. And she wanted some earphones too. She didn't really express what kind she wanted, so we purchased a pair for her. And I think we probably spent about $100, And you were allowed to wrap them at that point. So we wrapped them, placed them in a small crate so that it could be all kept together, that kind of thing, and then turned those in. And then the following year they came out, and you couldn't wrap them. You actually had to leave them unwrapped, turn them in. And I was not real happy with that. Because that just seemed bizarre to me. I was like, okay, whatever. And of course we did the same thing there again. But, I sort of understand it from the point of, you don't want to overwhelm the child, give them everything on the list, because next year the Christmas may suck again. It's probably sucked all their life, that kind of thing. Then again, if you're in a position to help out, I don't know. But I understand both sides. But I do think it's interesting, the amount of people that are just having conniption fits about that. Just makes you wonder, what's going on in society with that kind of thing. Why is it a big deal? You do you, I do me. they want to spend more than that, fine. And maybe the couple didn't have a lot of money and thought, well, we'd like to do something, so let's do something. You know, in different areas, they don't call them angel trees. Here we call it a mitten tree. Which, you know, regardless of what you call it, the idea is to be able to help someone who is less fortunate. When my children were growing up and I was on Medicaid, and this was while I was going to school, you know, working the whole 9 yards, but we did qualify for Medicaid because my work was so little. But there was nothing for Christmas gifts. And of course, through there, the Y, was it the Y? Salvation Army and the Y. You could sign up for the Christmas thing. And there was a party that they put on that you would go to the party and the kids would get the Christmas gifts. Couldn't make that. But then there was a place that always had what they called budget Christmas gifts. Okay, think Dollar Tree Christmas gifts. It's basically what it was. But at least you could get your kids something, make them feel like they had something. And as you know, for the entire time that I was in school, I was also, throughout the year, purchasing things that I found, you know, discounted or whatever all along. So I knew that I could pull some gifts from that. But there were times it was really lean and it was like, they're going to get one gift and that's going to be it. And they better be okay with it because ain't nothing else I can do about it. So I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are on that. And I have to tell you, I don't know if you guys have been seeing the whole thing with the iPhone pouch or pocket. I don't know what they're calling it. Have you guys seen that lately? It's a glorified crocheted pouch. I've seen AI describe it as a knitted pouch for your iPhone. Basically, it's a pocket, and then you have a strap that comes up like this, and it splits both front and back, side, and you can attach it to your purse if you need to, if you know what I mean. You can slip it in so that it fastens around the handle of your purse, and it's a perfect little pocket for your cell phone. Well, Apple is selling them for, I think, $300. I've watched a couple of videos where people said, watch me make the $300 iPhone pocket pouch with this yarn for under $4. And then they proceed to make it out of I think it was the velveteen. I think that's what it's called, velveteen yarn, plush yarn, you know, and or the chenille yarn. And my first thoughts are, seriously? They're charging $300 for that? Then my second thought is, if you make enough of them, and let's say you sold them for $100, do I think people would pay $100 for them? I don't know, maybe. You know, if they knew the ones with at Apple were being charged $300, and I guarantee you they were probably crocheted, knitted in China for about 60 cents a day. So, who knows? Hop on it, gals. Let's make a few bucks. Excuse me. It's that sinus infection. did go to the doctor, and yeah, it is sinus infection, ear infection. So, on some antibiotics. Yippee! It's my favorite thing of the year, being on antibiotics. Not. Because then you got to watch for those lovely yeast infections for us women. I don't know why they come so readily with any kind of antibiotics. But it happens, unfortunately. Guess that's a hazard of being a woman, right? Having to deal with those kind of things. Okay. I was starting to watch some of the videos on the crochet trends, and these are predicted crochet trends for 2026. Seems to be blankets, shawls, hats, head warmers. Can't remember what the other one was. Have to review it. Can't remember what the colors were either. Dagnabbit. Just watched it last night. You'd think I'd be able to, well, maybe not. You know, sinuses were really bad yesterday. In fact, I spent most of the day sleeping, which kind of surprised me. But, yeah, most of my day was spent sleeping. Trying to get some of the house things put away. I realized there was a bag in the other room, and I was like, I wonder what's in that bag. Had it out for, just walked by it each month. Just ignored it. Had a set of sheets in it that I purchased. And some fabric that I had purchased. Yep. I don't know why I just kept walking by it, but I did. And they were they're flannel sheets that I had purchased. They were on sale. So I picked those up. And I don't know why I just kept walking by the bag. I think in my mind I thought there was some of the paint supplies that I had used for the summer craft with the balloons at the Bible study. I don't know, maybe. Who knows what my mind was thinking was in there. So anyway, I found that I had, and this is the thing, when I was putting things away the other day after changing the sheets, I kept thinking, I thought I bought some sheets. Wonder where they're at. I did. I just kept walking past them. Do that a lot sometimes. I wonder if that means I'm getting Alzheimer's early. Probably just because I'm too busy, can't stop to do something, get it out of the way. Too busy moving on to the next thing. It's quite possible. Wish it weren't so, but that just seems to be the way things run with me. Need to count my rows. 1 more row and then we're ready for the brim. So yeah, do you guys do that? Hope you don't. I had watched this one channel, and this young lady does some interesting things. A lot of hers are really short videos, like about 15, 16 minutes, somewhere in there. She talks about some of the things that she has done, crochet, knitwise, what she would do, what she wouldn't do again, those kind of things. And she does sell at market, so those were kind of interesting to see some of the things that she sold at market. But she talks about the whole thing with whether it's economical enough to sell. Because I know there are a lot of people that do make money with their crochet or their knit. But I think it's getting harder and harder to be able to do that. Saw where President Trump had signed a executive order. Was it to help bring lower prices for beef? I can't remember what the other things were. But anyway, this was after economists had said that beef might rise, to the price of $10 a pound. And I thought, well, first of all, if we quit exporting all our beef out to other countries and maybe sold it here, we could get a better price. The other thing I know is many of us shop local. There are quite a few farmers here, quite a few local butchers who purchase from local farmers. You're going to get a better price, better cut of meat anyway. Fresher. So, and it's lower cost. And of course, we know the farmers are the ones that wind up getting junk, cattlemen, that kind of thing. Because most of the money goes towards the middleman. Very little of it goes to the grocery stores. Very little of it goes to the actual person who's done all the raising of the cattle, which is sad. Middlemen in the middle get the majority. And I think what they need to do is pass legislation that those middlemen, can only charge so much for their services, which will help contain the cost. It's passed on to the consumer. Do I think that'll happen? Doubtful. Because I'm pretty sure those middlemen have lobbyists that lobby our Congress people. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. What do you guys think? I have decided after I get through... Unknown caller. I have no idea who you are. I have decided after I get through with the hats that I am going to go ahead and start on the Christmas blanket, even though I will not be able to get it done for the December meeting. Highly doubtful. Just because I don't have enough time, and I'm not going to worry about it. But I am going to start on it so that I can get it done. I have decided I'm going to do one with the granny squares because I already have a bunch of granny squares in the back room that I'd started that I was going to send to Boggy Creek or to Billy at one point. Never did get finished with those, got sidetracked and onto some other thing. Here's a Frisbee, there I go. So decided I am going to work on that. In between also working on this iris blanket that I have over here to the right. so that hopefully I can get those kind of things done. When I go to take care of my little lady, I can take some of the skeins of yarn, a skein or two, with me and sit and crochet. Many times she goes to bed early. I'm not ready to go to bed, so I can sit and crochet. So I'll probably do that. Because the only other thing I would do is get on my phone, play games, and piddle fart around. Although she said I can watch TV while I'm up. I really don't. There really anything that I like watching, so I only watch it when she's watching it, so. But I can crank out a couple of squares in those sessions. Then bring them in, set them in the pile so they're ready to go. And then that way you'll be ready for next year. They'll want Christmas blankets again next year. And I'm sure there'll be one or two ladies that'll come up with a Christmas blanket. So they'll be good to go. And they should be fine with that. So, like I said, we'll just see how it works. Of course, I could knit some panels, and I'm still debating on whether I want to do that or not. And I might do that, but then you have to do the mattress stitch to put them together. Bah humbug. And yeah, who likes sewing? I don't like sewing. Does anybody like sewing? It's not really sewing, it's just picking up the stitches. But man, it's kind of a bummer, Pick up those stitches and then you have to pull it tight. And what if you didn't use the same color? Although mattress stitch hides that very well. Usually. Okay. Starting on the brim. Added the white. I don't think I'm going to finish this hat with you, but I am going to get it finished today. That's my goal. Still have to make a white pom-pom after I get the brim done. But at least it'll all be done and finished. Ready to be moved on. All right. All right, guys, I am going to let you go. I will see you again soon. But in the meantime, keep your heads up and think about how much you would charge to make one of those iPhone pocket thingies. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.